Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Raw Talk on this beautiful Sunday evening here from Brisbane. This is a very special night for us, as I have with me on this unique and special time in Brisbane in terms of kingdom time, and also this cold weather, a very special friend that I just met recently from Rabaul, PNG. He will explain to you more who he is and where he's from, the exact place, and also the work that he's doing. But I just want to take this moment to thank everyone for following us on Raw Talk. It has been a pleasure having the conversation with kingdom leaders or leaders from the marketplace and church, discussing ideas and the need for us to synergize and strategize and be able to bring about transformation into cities, nations, and of course the Oceania region. And so tonight I want to introduce you to our speaker. I will do that by actually reading to you his bio, because I think let the bio speak to us, and if I'm missing anything, he will definitely be filling in the gaps. But I have with me tonight a very special friend, Garrison Passingan. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly, but he can give us the full name if I'm missing anything. So Garrison is from East and New Britain Province, Papua New Guinea. He's also the Vice President of the New Covenant Ministries International, PNG. He's a member of the East Britain Provincial Church Council. He's also the member of Kokopo District Church Council. He's also a representative of the Kokopo Vunamami Urban Local Level Development, Government Development, I think it is. Government, not development, but government. And he's also a farmer and entrepreneur. Now, the list that I've given to you is actually a condensed version of his bio, but it doesn't do justice to the man that I'm about to interview, because meeting him for the last couple of days, there's so much more to Garrison than what I read to you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Garrison to Raw Talk tonight. For those of you who are here, just give him a big hand clap online, social media online hand clap as we welcome him. And Garrison, I want to just use your first name tonight. I don't want to keep using your last name because I might say it wrong and you might send me a bill for defamation later on and take me to court. But what a privilege and a joy to meet you, Garrison. And I just want to start off by asking you if you can give us a little background to who you are, your family, and what you're currently doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As Pastor David had said, I am Pastor Gershon Passingan. I'm from East New Britain and in Kokopo, and then Guinea Islands region. I am married with four children, and I am pastoring a church in East New Britain, but I'm also the vice president of the New Covenant Ministries International. And I'm a farmer. At the same time, I'm a bit of entrepreneur, engaging with the communities in East New Britain, specifically in Kokopo district. We work together with the community. We help the community in terms of negotiating peace and reconciliation between warring tribes. That's what I've been doing for the last few years, and in East New Britain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Garrison, for that. So, can you describe why you came to Australia this time? And I understand that you have been looking for something for the last 6 years since the passing of your spiritual father. Maybe we can start there. You walked with your spiritual father, and suddenly he was no more. And during that time, something was missing in your life. And then you came to Brisbane at this time, but this is not the first time you've been to Australia, and something happened to you. But can we talk about your relationship with your spiritual father and how significant that was to you?
Okay, my spiritual father, the man who grew me, is Pastor Sakling Tamadabai, and my Melon is still alive. So he's the man who grew me from event to Rabaul. That was a long time, and that's where I got connected to the prophetic and like apostolic move and grace in his life. So he grew me from nothing. I was just a village boy staying in the village, and I did not think in my wildest dream to be where I am today. But because of such a man, especially the Pasagin Tamadabai, so he grew me in terms of ministry, and in a lot of ways, he helped me to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically also. But as we were moving forward, he passed on, and thank God for like Ma Melen Tamadabai, which is she's now the mother of the house after Baba Sakling left, and she's the president, and I am the vice president of the Cabinet Ministry. But it's been a very good journey all along. But deep inside of me, because of the impartation of the prophetic and apostolic seed in me, I knew very well inside my heart that the passing of my father was not the end of uh, of the endeavor that I had, the life and the continuity of why I was following and being a son and being loyal under him. So through that, I work with Mom Helen Tamarabai. Even now, I'm still being loyal to the vision of the house. But deep inside of me, I needed uh, like connections to continue the legacy of uh, of Baba Sakim Tamarabai. So I've been coming here and there to Brisbane, Australia. But this trip was very unique and interesting because I did not plan. I did not plan to to meet you personally and be part of the Raw conference in Melbourne. That was not part of my plan. My original plan was to go to Cairns, and we were there with some of my brothers. And after the meeting, uh, one of my brothers told me that he'll be going to Melbourne to have a meeting and leave his son there in the school. So we decided to I decided to go with him without knowing what's going to happen. So he drove all the way to Melbourne, and I took the flight to Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne. But because they were a bit late, so I was just waiting for them, and I called Mom, Helen Tamanaba in Port Moresby, and I told her that I'm in Melbourne, and then she told me there's a meeting, there's a raw meeting in Pastor says church. You should go and join the meeting there without knowing what's going to happen. But deep in my heart, I knew that God was directing me in what I was doing here in Australia. So eventually, I end up in the meeting just at the time when you were you were getting a session after lunch. That was the time where like you begin to run the sessions in Kingdom, and then that's it. When you were speaking, I just felt a resonation in my spirit that this is what my father, Baba Sakling Tamarabai, has been preparing the sons in the house to walk into and to be part of. And then that's it. I just got connected. I could not sit properly. And like I knew that it was not just you speaking, but there was a frequency of the Spirit that was released when you were talking. It was like God was saying to me that this is the connection, this is the pathway where it can continue where your Father has brought you guys up to. So, and that's it. Then we started the conversation, and after that we met, and then we begin to talk about how we can work in Papua New Guinea. But I really acknowledge your sessions, and like there's something that I learned that it's not just the voice, it's not just the preaching the message, but there's a frequency, there's a spirit that someone carries, just like Mary and Elizabeth. When Mary spoke, the baby in Elizabeth leaps, and that's what I felt like when you were speaking. I felt something in me resonated, and I knew that this is the connection that should continue, where Baba Sakling vision to raise the sons, because according to Baba Sakling, Baba Sakling Tamanabai, he was not just like a spiritual leader and a father to us. He was also the governor of Northern Province, Papua, for 5 years in 2012. So seeing Pastor Sackling on that level, I begin to realize inside me that church is not just like being in a church or within a church, singing and praising God and praying. Church is beyond. There's a kingdom beyond church, and I've been always feeling that this is not enough. I cannot just be a pastor and just being in a church. That the world is dying. Something has to happen to the world outside.
Wow. Can I want to jump in there because you said something quite unique in the meeting in Melbourne. And of course, there are many speakers. And you came in on my session. I was the last speaker on a Wednesday night. And that's the graveyard shift. The last speaker around 2:30 when everybody's already eaten spiritual food, natural food, and they're tired and they can't take anymore. But then the Lord came and he did something unique, which you said that it wasn't just a voice, it wasn't just a message, but there was a frequency. And that frequency that was transmitted when I was speaking resonated with a frequency inside of you. Can I ask you, did that remind you of the similar frequency that your spiritual father used to carry?
Definitely, definitely. Because in his days, he usually challenged the sons to get out there and be part of the community, be involved in politics, be involved in business, and be involved in the out there with the people. So I felt in my spirit that this is the one. So I needed to connect with what you were saying for continuity, for a greater measure of where God was bringing the house into, especially when like NCMI. So I got connected because it was just similar, and I knew that God was saying something to me because, as I've said, it was unplanned. I did not plan to go to Melbourne, but God designed everything for me to hear and connect to the prophetic frequency that was released when you were speaking at the time.
And also, we had a small talk in Melbourne, and out of that conversation, you felt from God to come to Brisbane. And then we connected here in Brisbane. The last 2 days, you and I have been driving around ministering in a spiritual son of mine's church, which you were there. And I wanted to ask you about your experience just being together, driving together, ministering together, and the fellowship. what were some of the unique things that you felt, that you saw, and even received during the last 2 days? Because, as you said, our meeting was not orchestrated by men, it was divinely put together. So I wanted to hear from you about what did you experience in the last 2 days, because I've got follow through questions to that. I can't wait to ask you about your vision for Rabaul, because man, anyway, answer that one first and jump in, and we can jump into Rabaul.
Yeah, thank you. Like today, yesterday, and today was a very for me it was very important, and I was learning a lot of things since yesterday. And when we went to the church, one of your sons' church, which you raised in Brisbane, and the sessions yesterday, it was it was it was a new thing to me personally because like it was a men's conference, but how it was set up, it was totally like unique, different because we had within that house, but we already had like your son's sons that are already in the marketplace in the medical field, and how they were doing the presentations of like how they've impacted those the marketplace and the need for those ones in the house to be part of what was happening. And the church was small in size, but they were quality people. They were quality people inside the church. And one thing I realized was the honor and the loyalty that your son had for you as an apostolic father to him. So I learned a lot of things regarding that area. The church was small, but the people that were inside the church was like they were dynamic, and the worship was just good, and the people were so friendly. And like you are an apostolic figure in Australia, in Brisbane, a father here, but to you I see that it's not just like you're talking, but there's demonstration of being an apostolic father here because you have raised sons. You have raised sons also to impact the marketplace, and not only the marketplace, but raise sons to become fathers in their own rights and recognizing the grace in you. I learn a lot of things because the pastor, your Sunday was, he knew where to honor. He knew where to respect upon the man that has raised him. And seeing you and your sons, and I could reflect and remember how I honored and have that honor and respect to my late father.
Yeah.
But there's a connection that I'm seeing. It's not just about building church anyhow,
Mm.
but being strategic in what type of sons that you want to raise. That's something that I learned. The kind of sons that you want to raise is one of the sons that I met today.
Mm.
That was really a learning experience for me, and
Yeah.
it was also challenging for me for churches to embrace the pattern of the apostolic in this season.
Out of that, again, today we went to church again there at Rehoboth Prayer Church. But you and I started talking about the importance of fathers and son. And I'm not sure whether you're a man of your words, and Stanley, it came so easy for you and I to start talking about this new relationship that God has formed between us. And it was like a father and son relationship. It was like your relationship with your former father, but it just happened. There was no human attempt to make it happen. It was just organic. It was like God put it all together, and we were just recognizing what God wanted to see happen as we were having our food and talking. Are you free to speak about that special moment? And it was like a father and son conversation between us, and it happened so fast.
Thank you. I think as uh, as I've said, since the passing of my spiritual father, I knew very well that there must be a continuity. There must be a continuity in the vision that he was driving into us. So, like having that connection and conversation for the last few days, and especially today, I knew straight away that like you're not just a pastor and apostolic figure. Like to me, at this time, like it's like it's a joining and the connecting of a father, especially when you when I have that vision in me, and especially in the kingdom, because like it's not just a church, it's kingdom. It's apostolically manifesting what God has said. So when we were conversing, I just knew that there's a connection between, like it's a father son connection between us when we were conversing, because it needs that father son concept of relationship to advance, and the continuity of what God wants to do in our spheres.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's no other way for the continuity of what God has done in you and through you, and of course with your spiritual father, unless it's a same similar relationship to take you to the next level. And I just want to honor you for recognizing that, and also your willingness to just say, yeah, it is what it is. It's a father and son relationship. And I'm blessed to I'm blessed to be in this relationship and in this covenant relationship, as you call it. And I'm excited to do whatever I can to help you with the work in Rabaul. Now, let's talk about Rabaul right now. You have been building churches and you have raised up sons, and you have sons in all different spheres of society. Can you share with us the magnitude and the impact of the work you've done because of the sons you have raised, and in the strategic places that they're now functioning in Rabaul? Can you just share a little bit of that with us? Because there's another question I want to ask you, because your vision for Rabaul is amazing. It's a kingdom vision.
Thank you. Basically, I'll start this way. I wouldn't have learned like the heart and the skill to build on the ground and to build sons, raise sons, and like release them without without Baba Saking Tamanabai who built me. Like how he built me is exactly how I have to build my sons, not in the province and even around the region. So basically, one of the important things that drove me to like to raise sons at this time is the decay of the society. Like the society is decaying in a lot of ways. Like morally, it's decaying, and there are a lot of things that are happening that is they are not supposed to happen within not just the church, but the society and the words. They are just a metaphor. They're just reflecting the state of the church, because there's a missing. There's no father son concept. The father son concept is not within the society. So there's a big gap in the continuity of what God wants to do from the spirit to the natural. So like when we started working in the province with my father, and then he left, we there was a lot of challenges in our communities, and especially violence. We were caught with violence. We were caught with a lot of, especially the youths within our community. They were just going from bad to worse. There was violence, hold up. There were wars, villages were fighting, and all these things were happening. And I, I found out that the solution for all these things is to raise sons, because as a pastor, or as an individual spiritual leader, I can't. I can't influence and I can't do anything and everything at the same time. Just like God spoke to Elijah after Jezebel, he had an encounter with Jezebel and he went to the cave, and then God told him, go and anoint this, raise this son. So that's how I felt, because the society was decaying. And to continue my father's vision, I have to raise sons in the community. But as I begin to continue to raise sons in strategic areas, especially to engage with the community, to engage with the people out there, not just in the church, but to network with people outside of the church circle. So that has brought me to a certain place where I have to begin to disciple them or father them to become ward members in the community, to be to be part of the community decision making, to be part of the ward development committees, to be part of a decision making in the community. So in that manner, the community now have access to what God is saying.
Wow.
And that's how the East New Britain has been impacted. And East New Britain knows very well, the province knows very well this phase, that I've always been present in fights, in every when the police could not go, I would be there.
Oh, wow.
When there's a need of reconciliation, peace, I would be there. Like, I just felt that, like, if I keep being where I am as a pastor in the church,
Yeah.
my community is dying. They are fighting.
Yeah.
Who will help them? The police are not coming to help them. So I have to go in. There are issues that the government cannot do.
Mm.
But the church is there. The church is not doing anything. I felt that, so I have to get out of my way and do what I'm doing now in the community. So I thank God for the member for Kokopo, our member for Kokopo, Honorable Junior Hermanto Baining. He recognized the grace and the work that we do, and he fully help us to propel the work and at least subdue the violence in our community.
And this is when you're saying the member of Kokopo, you're talking about the provincial government.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes,
they
that's
recognize,
that's our national leader. He represents us in parliament, but he's the member for the district,
mm,
Kokopo district.
okay.
So he recognized the grace that we have, what we are doing, and then we partnered, and then right now as I speak, we are working together in the community to make sure there's law and order, make sure that the public is safe.
So basically, what you're doing, what you've done, Pastor, is you raise up sons that are in different committee, different boards, and different, let's say, governance structure of society, and they are the ones that are helping calm down the violence, the crime, and some of the troubles that the police cannot resolve. You and your team are actually there bringing a resolution and a calm to society. So your work really is not a typical church. You actually build an ecclesia that we talked about today at church that is affecting all spheres of society. Hence why the representation from your province in the government has now recognized the work you're doing, and it's helping you because there's something that you're doing that a typical pastor will not do. You're not pastoring a church, you're pastoring
That's
a
right.
whole province.
That's right. That's right. Like when we met since yesterday, and we met in Melbourne, and we met here in Brisbane. And I'm just by listening to you, like I could relate and confirm that what I'm doing way back at home is relevant to this apostolic season. The interpretation of what I'm doing is like now it's becoming clearer, because it's not just a church, it's the kingdom. It's a kingdom.
So, Pastor, with your spiritual father, you said that he was the governor of your province, right? He wasn't just a pastor, he was also a political leader. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, he was the governor from uh, Pondeta, that's Horo province. That's in the southern region.
Hmm.
I am from the Highlands region, but my spiritual father is from the southern region, which is Horo province. That's northern. So he became the governor at the
Hmm.
time, and straight after he was nominated, and then he won the elections,
Wow.
and then he was declared as a governor. A cyclone hit the place. A cyclone Kuba hit the place.
Hmm.
So, like, for someone who is just new in the political terrain, uh, and the disaster just hit his province, how could he? How could he manage the province with his minimum skills of like he being a politician? But it was in the headline at the time in the newspaper that uh, he said, "This is not a uh, this is not a disaster. This is a blessing in disguise."
Wow.
And I was the public relations officer.
You
He,
were.
appoint,
You
he
were.
appointed me from a pastor, from just
Amen.
from just being a son, following him around everywhere, helping his vision, helping his what he was doing. He brought me in to become a public relations officer. So he declared that, and that's it. The whole nation thought that, oh, how could a governor say that? But because he was prophetic, uh, he was seeing it beyond a disaster.
Hmm.
Because straight after the disaster, there were donors, they flooded him. Nations came in to donate. And right now, like Northern Province is still experiencing uh, what the former governor did, late former governor did to the province.
Hmm.
But I worked with him and I learned a lot of things with him as he was a governor. And as I was his officer, I learned a lot of things because
Hmm.
he was not just like he used to preach to us,
Yeah.
but now he's into the marketplace now.
Wow.
So he was in the marketplace and teaching us like this is how things are done to bring influence
Hmm.
into the political terrain, into governing the province. So like I had the privilege to be under him and learn a lot of things, how to impact and influence the society.
Yeah.
So like what I'm doing today is because someone raised me to become who I am today.
You know, the anointing and the call upon his life, but particularly in the area of politics and governance, you know, I believe that it's still there. The mantle is still there. And maybe you and one of your sons can pick it up. But you actually stood in a political election because you felt from God to do that. And of course, you saw your spiritual father did the same. He wasn't just preaching about the gospel of the kingdom, he was demonstrating the gospel of the kingdom. Can you talk to us about that experience? Because you're not the typical pastor. That's what I'm saying. When I met you, I said, you're not a pastor, you are a political leader. And a political leader is one that focus on a region, even a nation. A pastor just focuses on the church, but a political leader focuses on everything else outside of the church, including the church. So what prompted you to stood in the election? I think it was 2020. Was it 2020 or
2017?
okay? Can you share with us your experience and what prompted you to do that?
I stood for the election in like 2017, but what really prompted me and challenged me to stand at the time was like the state of the province. The state of the province, and there were a lot of things that were happening in the province that I knew that it will not take money to address it. I knew that those are spiritual. It is a spiritual. It is a spiritual connection with what's happening at the time when I felt the prompt to walk into like politics. So I was a new kid on the block. Like nobody knew who I was, and I actually walked in, and it was a learning curve for me. I really wanted to learn how it's done, how the game is played, and how all these things are happening. So standing outside and looking into the political world was I thought that it will be hard. But as soon as I step inside the political domain at the time, I begin to realize that this is a different world. It has its own different lingo. It has its own different principles. So I begin to just the running of the elections. I begin to learn a lot of things at the time, and I knew straight away that as soon as the elections was done and finished, I began to help the community in a different. I had a passion to help the people in a different manner because what prompted me to be in politics at the time was as I've said, the the state of the province and some of the things that are happening in the province. They are not physical; they are spiritual. So my presence in there might deal with certain things that maybe they are innocent. We don't know. But being there can help shift a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because one thing I saw when my father went into politics, a lot of people talked about him. They ridiculed him. They said, "Hey, why you're a pastor and you want to be a politician?" But the thing is, when God speaks to you, He does not speak to everybody.
Yes.
So he had God, he walked in.
Yeah.
I had God, I have to go in. Because like once upon a time, especially like business and politics and like the marketplace,
Hmm.
like we saw it like it's just for the people out there.
Hmm.
But today, what's happening out there is demanding the sons of God in the house
Hmm.
to participate and to be involved in what's happening out there.
Come on.
So like that's the whole reason why I walk into politics in 2017.
Wow. So, Pastor, just encourage you to get ready to get in again, because you've learned from the first attempt, and I know that God is still preparing you for a position, maybe an influence all over PNG from a political angle. But can I ask you this question about, so you are working and building up what you have built all across the province now in the community, but then you realize that you hit a plateau. It's like you came to maybe an end, and you're wondering what's next, where to from here. And we met, and now with this new meeting, there's an invigoration, there's a revival, there is a reawakening of something inside of you, and you're ready to go back with this new fire, new passion, new clear vision for your province. Can you share with us what that is? What do you see is going now to happen now with your work, and what are you see yourself doing when you get back into your province?
Thank you. Basically, I've always had that that the urge in me that I cannot be satisfied with where I am. There's always a room to grow. There's always a place to advance and move forward in a lot of things. But because of I had that kind of uh, character and life inside of me not to satisfy, I knew straight away that if I don't advance or move forward, the entire colony behind me will stuck. They cannot move forward. So as a leader, it is upon me now to decide whether to go around the circle and keep modifying and repeating what I'm doing just to keep everybody, or I have to take the leap and the step to move forward into unfamiliar grounds, unfamiliar terrains, you to advance into new frontiers. So that was the whole thing about me. I knew that I cannot just stay here. I cannot just be keep doing the same old thing every now and then, just a routine. No, there's a place in God. There's always a room for growth. And I decided to continue to move from familiarity. And normally, like when we usually come to like Australia, we come in a group. But this time, 2 times now, I decided to come by myself, just to feel that yes, God is about to do something new. I have to make new connections. I have to go out and feel feel the spirit within those who claim to be like apostles and pastors in Australia, and that has brought me to that conference unplanned, and we started the conversation there. So like that's what I felt from where I was and coming here. So now like meeting with the team in Melbourne and meeting you, it's like it's the beginning of a new journey. It's
Wow,
like
wow,
it's the beginning of like there's a it's like standing in the racing track.
yeah.
There's a new whole new world out there to explore and influence. That's a
Mm.
kind of energy that now I'm feeling to like yeah, it's a new terrain now. It's time for me to move
Wow.
and make things happen.
Yeah. I like what you're saying there, that if you stand still, then everybody behind you will stand still. But if you move forward, then obviously you're taking people forward. And there's a story in the Bible that talks about how the children of Israel were circulating the same mountain for so long, and God told Moses to tell them, stop going around the same mountain over and over and over. It's time to break camps and move forward. And what you're saying is you're beginning to see the way forward. It's clear, and you're already moving forward. But there's also a collaboration with myself and the raw team and many people we work with here in Australia that can help you with your vision for Rabaul. Can you tell us about what is some of the strength and natural resources? Of course, people are the number one natural resources, but what are some of the resources that you can see in Rabaul that if the kingdom comes in and begin to build it up, it's going to prosper the whole region. And out of God building the kingdom within Rabaul, it's going to spread all across PNG and of course Oceania. Do you see that happening? Because you've got great people on the ground, but you also have natural resources that needs to be managed by the local people. You and I were speaking about how many uh, multinational companies have come and mined your gold, your natural gas, some of the natural resources you have. But they take much of the money out of the country and give you only a small amount, which to me, there's injustice there because the natural resources of Rabaul and of course of PNG should be managed by the people of PNG. So can you talk to us about going forward? Is that something that you want to do, is to train people up, not to rely on people from outside, but rely on God and the kingdom understanding to raise up people who can steward your resources and ensure that there's prosperity for everyone, not just in Rabaul, not just in your province, but the whole of PNG.
Thank you. I think the most important thing that I see is the human resource in the province, and in fact in the nation. There are a lot of dropouts in the provinces, and like young people want to find jobs, but there's nothing available for them. That's number one, is the human resource. It's in the province, and number two is like in this Britain, we are an agricultural province. Now we are not like other provinces may in the highlands region where they have gold, they have gas and oil and all that. Basically, Britain is just agriculture. It's cocoa, balsa, coconut, and some other fresh produce in the province. So one of the things that I'm seeing basically there is because the two cash crop that brought Eastern Britain to where it is today. Eastern Britain in Papua New Guinea is regarded as a model province because we were the first province to be civilized. That's including Bougainville. So the cocoa and copra were the two main cash crop that brought Eastern Britain the way it is today. But one of the things that I see in cocoa and copra is the value chain, of the industry. Like we produce the raw material, and it just goes out from the province and the nation out raw, and then we're missing out on the value. So what I see in the province is for downstream processing to add value to the cocoa industry and the coconut industry and spices and all these things, all these cash crop are there, but we lack the downstream processing, and that's the area where the province would need to raise their economic base in the province. And because in the provinces we have NARI, that's National Agricultural Research Institute in our province. The research is there, but it's basically research is just for research alone, but not for like industry, to build industry. So one of the things I see, sorry, I'm just speaking specifically for Eastern Britain.
Yeah, go for
because
it.
I'm from the province. So what we need in the province is downstream for the kingdom to be translated into realities in Britain. Is we need to go into downstream processing for the cocoa, then start producing cocoa bar and all these chocolate right in the province. For coconut, is to produce coconut in the province, and that's what I'm seeing. And the human resource,
Yes.
the young people in the province, and even fishing in the province. Like these are the things where the kingdom can translate to benefit
the
wider vast of the community.
Wow. Well, so that's what I mean, Pastor. You and I have been talking about the difference between religion and the kingdom message, because the kingdom is practical living. The kingdom is you hear what God is saying and you go out and you start doing something for your life on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throughout the whole week. It makes you become more innovative, entrepreneurial. You start thinking of business ideas. You start getting involved in politics and education, and you look at what can we do physically to raise up the living standard of your family, of your church, your community, and the whole entire province. So you are actually doing that. But I also know, like what you just said there, that you can identify the natural resources. There's the human resources, yes, but there's also the natural resources like the agriculture and fisheries, that if kingdom people in your region begin to put their hands and begin to work these natural resources, money will come into your province, prosperity will start coming into people, and the economy of your province will be lifted. And to me, what you're describing is the outworking of the understanding of the gospel of the kingdom. Now, in saying that, because you and I have been talking about the kingdom here, you heard me talk about the kingdom today at the church. Um, can you just tell me uh, where the church is in your area in terms of the kingdom and religion, or maybe your church or maybe your region is already in the outworking of the kingdom. But what you're understanding now is you and I have been traveling, we're talking about the kingdom. Where is the church? Where is your province in terms of kingdom development, kingdom renovation of their psyche, kingdom understanding, and kingdom coming in and invading the whole area?
Okay. Uh, like basically, I speak on the province and the nation as a whole. The church in the nation, the church in the nation right now needs to come out from churchianity, need to migrate out from just being church. We run crusades, we run fasting and prayer, and the society is still the same. We run everything that is called church, but the society is waiting for something else
Mm.
that the church has not offered yet. So for me personally, my perspective towards PNG, the church as a whole, is PNG now needs a collaboration, a networking together of kingdom-minded people
Mm.
of the same caliber that they think kingdom to somehow assemble, come together through divine connections
Mm.
in PNG.
Mm.
From me personally, PNG would need people like you, not only to speak to certain people, but to those who are strategic and seeing the kingdom in a broader spectrum. So PNG now needs a shock treatment of kingdom message.
Wow.
PNG. Why did I say shock treatment? Because when somebody is unconscious and half dead, he needs shock treatment.
Yep.
So PNG is just a sleeping giant, dosing off with churchianity. We need to come out from where we are. We need a shock treatment
Wow.
in PNG about kingdom.
That's it.
Because kingdom is not just, like I've said, it's not just church. Kingdom is inclusive. It includes everything and everybody in society.
Wow. I like what you say that PNG needs a shock treatment because churchianity has put PNG to sleep. And that is so true. It's the same in Tonga, and the same in Samoa, same everywhere in the Pacific. Pastor, you know that the church has the power to transform the nation, right? You and I know that. But for some reason, the church has been eating something else that is putting it to sleep rather than waking it up. And
Yeah,
I do believe that there are many people who should be running the country in terms of politicians, many people who should be leading the economy of the nation, running big multi-million dollar businesses, many people who should be top lawyers and musicians and running the media and education, all spheres of society. But they're locked up in the church by
yeah.
religion. And religion has become the prison walls that lock these people up. And they're
Mhm.
locked up and reduced to doing little things like praise and worship and men's ministry and women's ministry. But these things are not bad in itself, but can it be just a starting point and not the end
Yes,
point? So that
yes, yes.
people are trained to start there, but then groom, develop, disciple to go out and run nations according to the call of God upon your life. And imagine if the church, as you said, the sleeping giant, is set free by the shock treatment of kingdom. I think in the next 5, 10 years, PNG will be run by a King David. PNG will be run by the Daniels and the Josephs and the Esthers.
Yes.
PNG will be run by kingdom leaders that has been
Mhm.
locked up by the church, but now awakened by the injection of the gospel of the kingdom. Do you see that happening, Pastor?
Yes, definitely. I'm seeing that, and I want it to happen. It must explode. It must explode massively in the nation. It must explode. The message of the kingdom must explode in the nation because Jesus did not just come with a normal message. He came with the message of the kingdom. And as I've said, PNG is just a sleeping giant that is just eating the wrong food and sleeping. It needs a shock treatment for that sleeping giant to rise up because prophecies after prophecies over PNG. PNG is already full with prophecies, but we need to translate those prophecies into walking, talking reality. And the season is now. The season is now.
Wow. Wow. Pastor, share with us your is there anything else in your heart for the future of PNG? Let's talk about PNG because I know you have a great vision for Rabaul and also your province. But is there something in your heart that you want to see happen in PNG? Obviously, the gospel of the kingdom must spread. Is there something else in your heart that you want to see manifest, become tangible and real in PNG?
Thank you. Before I say what I want to say about PNG, I'd like to say something which it will become a reference point to what I want to share as a message or prophetic message. Okay, this is a statement that I would like to say. Like it's regarding David and Goliath and Joseph and the Daniels. Daniel. Okay, the Bible says that God's thoughts are not like our thoughts. His ways are different. The way he wants to do things is totally opposite or totally different from how a normal human being thinks. It's different. So I'd like to say that David, if there was no David,
Hmm.
that is how God thought things. If there was no David, there wouldn't be any Goliath. If there was no Joseph, there wouldn't have been any famine. So that means God saw the problem first. He raised the man, And then the problem was allowed because the man was already on the ground. So when Goliath appeared, Goliath did not just appear on the scene because he wanted to appear. No, he appeared because David was already there.
Come on.
David was already there.
Wow.
That was the reason why he appeared, because David was there. Okay, Jesus, just a thought about Jesus. Jesus slept in the boat, and he slept right in the eye of the storm. Because if Jesus was not in the boat,
There'll be
there
no.
wouldn't be any storm.
That's right.
Jesus was the reason why there was a storm.
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to say something about PNG, but I will start this way.
Yes.
So when the storm began to blow, the storm was blowing at the right place, at the right position, because the solution and the answer was inside the boat.
Oh wow.
Looking back to my nation, Papua
Wow.
New Guinea,
Come on.
many people would see and say and assume and all sorts of mindset that will think that PNG is going down.
Wow.
Oh, there are a lot of corruption in PNG. But according to what I just said, and according to what how God sees things, PNG where it is today, there is corruption because the incorruptible is in that corruption.
Come on.
And that's how I see PNG. It is corrupt because the incorruptible is in what is corrupt.
Wow.
They shaking because the immovable, what cannot be shaken is within what is being shaken.
Wow. Wow.
So there's hope for PNG.
Come on. Come
There's hope
on.
for PNG. What is happening is because the answer is already there. The David's already there.
Come on.
The Daniel's already there.
Wow.
It is happening because it's not just happening because there's no Daniel. It's happening because Daniel is there.
Wow.
So PNG, according to what I'm seeing, is PNG as a nation is just ripe for the sons of God, for the kingdom sons of God to manifest.
Wow.
If there was no fire, the king would have not seen the fourth man.
Wow.
So that's how I see PNG from this perspective. I still have hope for PNG.
Yes.
PNG is just a young nation, just 50 years old. 50 years
Wow.
old.
Wow.
I am 50 years old. I was born in 1975.
Wow. Wow. Come on.
And maybe PNG looks like me.
Ah.
It's still
Wow.
young.
That's it.
So PNG it's just understandable for a young nation to make mistake and find a way to be where it is.
Wow.
So there's hope for PNG. From my perspective, there is hope for PNG.
Amen.
And the timing is now.
Oh, Pastor, I couldn't have agreed more. Spot on. I totally agree. And I love your attitude, because that's the attitude that we need as Pacific Island kingdom leaders, that we need to look up and to look into ourselves and know that there is hope, there's a God, and we can rise up and take responsibility for the rebuilding and transformation, and also the development of our nations. And we also need to protect our nations from forces coming into, I've used the word rape, because there's been a lot of forces coming into the islands, and because we lack the discernment and the ability to say no, they have impoverished us by taking away our natural resources and the money that should be staying for the prosperity of PNG people, Rabaul, and the rest of of the Pacific and Oceania. I love hearing your heart because you do represent PNG. It's 50-year-old and you are 50, and maybe you are, as you're speaking, it's like the nation is speaking through you today. There's a prophecy that has been proclaimed over your nation as the first prototype kingdom nation. And you and I were talking today that you're not interested in just hearing the prophecy circulating in the air. You want to see that prophecy come down and land and manifest and materialize. Can you share that with us about some of the things that that should be done as a nation to see that word not just floating in the atmosphere, but have landing space so that PNG people can no longer talk about the Lord said, but they can tell people this is what the Lord said because they can touch it, they can feel it, and they can see it. That will be our last questions for today, Pastor. Just share with us some of the things that you think that should be done to convert or to transform prophecies into reality.
Thank you. Thank you. Firstly, number one is the unifying of the body of Christ and the understanding of the grace in different people across the nation is very important. And there's one thing that I see in the nation is for those who are apostolic in nature and prophetic in nature, and those who claim God's way of doing things is not through paper. No, it's through what he says. So maybe someone out there in West New Britain, up in the highlands, in the southern, in the Port Moresby, God has been speaking to him, but he's kept out there. And I believe number one is for the convergence of strategic people, they must come together. Number two is the sons of God, the believers that are in the churches, they must now count the cost now and prepare to walk out from their comfort zone into the marketplace. They must take the challenge to face the reality of life. Because sometimes we are just saying, God said, but the society want to see.
Come on.
I believe a time will come where I will say, come and see the kingdom.
Wow.
Because the kingdom is not just hearing. The kingdom is visible. Come and see a man. That's what the Samaritan woman said. Come and see a man.
Come on.
She transformed the city. Come and see.
Wow.
It's not just come and hear. This is what God is saying. But come and see what God is doing in His New Britain, in New Ireland. Come and see. Come and feel the presence of God, not in the church, but in Parliament, in the assembly.
Come on.
On the street. Come and see. Like that's what I see. We have to take the risk because there's fear. There's a lot of fear that, oh, I might go into the public space and I might lose my reputation. Exactly. Jesus lost his reputation. So who are we to maintain our reputation? He lost his reputation.
Come on. Wow.
They spreaded him. They said a lot of things about him, but he was on assignment.
Wow.
Only when the kairos, only when the timing was right, they saw the reality. So it takes real men and women to run into the battlefield, like David. He ran away.
Wow. Wow. Pastor, you know what? Um, do you have a word of encouragement to your people in Rabaul that are tuning in tonight and your family in PNG? This is the last question because I'm excited to come over and be with you in Rabaul. Honestly, the sense of urgency as you and I were talking today of us working together and just being on the ground, and there are resources in Australia that we can also bring over to help with the vision that God has placed upon your heart to build your province into a kingdom reality, tangible kingdom reality, where we're not just talking kingdom, we're actually constructing the reality of the kingdom in the politics of Rabaul and the province, in the economy, in business, education, in the hospital, all spheres, family, church, creating jobs for the youth, as you said. There's so much we can do. But do you have a word of encouragement to your people and also those in PNG who may be listening and those from Oceania who may be listening to us tonight? Give you the last say for and the last question for tonight's session, Pastor.
Thank you. I'll start from PNG. PNG, if you're watching from PNG, this is the time for PNG to make the choice and converge together as one nation. We've always been one nation, though we have over 800 languages, but we've always been one nation. Let's become one in our kingdom mentality. And for East New Britain, I believe this is your answered prayer, East New Britain. We are a province that we have prayed. We have done everything under the sun from the church point of view and prepare for the kingdom.
Exactly.
Kingdom is coming to East New Britain. If you have been praying for East New Britain and you are from East New Britain, around the world, in the province, in the nation, East New
Wow.
Britain, this is your season. The time is now. The kingdom is coming.
Wow.
Time is now. And for the Oceania, I'd like to thank you very much for your heart, your vision for the Oceania region.
Mm.
In Oceania, this is our season. The timing is now for all the Pacific Islands and
Wow.
Australia, New Zealand, for us to demonstrate God in a different way.
Wow.
Not like before, but this is a different season for the Oceania. It's about time we display what it's like to be a kingdom son in
Wow.
Oceania. And for me, I'd like to say this to you, but thank you very much for your heart, your vision, your energy, your passion for the Oceania. Uh, I'm 100% in to
Wow.
make sure your vision for the Oceania region is fulfilled.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor. And I know that me helping you, you helping me, we're helping each other fulfill your vision for East is it East Britain and Rabaul and different areas that God has given to you and many other sons and daughters.